back to Dolphins United, the platform for Dolphins. You heard me. We back in the house Tuesday. Y'all know what time it is. We dropping the video. Big news today. Breaking news. Seems like we about to let go of our boy Kyle Van Noy, man. Signed a 4-year, $51 million contract. Looks like that's going to turn out to be a 1-year, $15 million contract. Right now, as we speak, they're trying to gauge potential trade partners. And if they can't find none, snip, snip, they're cutting our boy. All right, now, this cut, although surprising, I understand there has to be a cap casualty somewhere. Somebody was going to get the business. He ain't going to be the last one. Trust me, he is now saving us $9.75 million. Our cap is now raised to $36 million in cap space. We're going to see more of this once again. I don't know why we're dumping such a large salary. Maybe hint, hint, wink, wink, we're trying to get a quarterback. Maybe not. Maybe they see somebody in free agency that they feel can replace him for cheaper. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Please share it in the likes. Share it in the comments. Hit this button, video with a thumbs up as well, and like the video. But please share it in the comments where you feel this money is going. If you feel like it's going towards a trade, or if you feel like we're just trying to make sure we can get all of the assets we want in free agency or whoever we're going after. All right, now, he did a decent job for us this season. If I'm looking at the stats, 69 tackles, 6 sacks, not a horrible season. All right, now I think they're looking at the other Vans brother, because I call them the Vans brothers. I think they're looking at Van Ginkel to replace him and take his place. All right, and to become that type of guy, which he didn't do too bad last year. He had 5.5 sacks himself, 3 forced fumbles, a touchdown. The man did a beast for us in Van Ginkel. So Van Ginkel's going to have an elevated role. He's ready to take that next step. Maybe some of this money goes to him. I don't know. Maybe they try to lock him down on a 3-4 year contract. I don't know. Maybe they give it another year and wait to see. But they are trying to clear up some space for a reason. We will soon find out what that reason is in a few weeks. Because free agency is right there upon us. All right, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about. We're going to miss Van Noy. He was a staple for our defense. He helped build this defense to get it right. He knew the system coming in. So, much respect to him and his journey moving on. I liked him as a player. Very smart. He had the 3rd most pressures for any non-defensive lineman, according to PFF, at 28 pressures. He created pressure. Maybe not generating into a bunch of sacks, but he did disrupt the quarterback. Also was mostly stout against the run and holding up on his side, and setting the edge. For the most part, he had some lapses, but hey, who doesn't? But he was a very smart player. That's one thing about him. He was very smart, and he could play multiple positions. He was a Swiss Army knife, so we've got to replace that. Baker's going to have to step up, and definitely Van Ginkel's going to have to step up as well. All right, so that's not what I was originally going to talk about today. So we're going to move on to what I originally want to talk about, which is who are the top 10 quarterbacks to be Tua's backup. All right, who are the top 10 quarterbacks that I would like to be Tua's backup if indeed Tua is our starting quarterback through the next season. All right, so we're going to go over these guys, all right? Now, when it comes to free agency, and I've mentioned this in the live stream, but I'm going to mention it here as well. The Dolphins are building their teams free agency-wise based on rookies that outperformed where they were drafted at, or getting guys that are, average NFL starters, but that are young, all right? They're looking for guys 28 for the most part and younger, and then signing those guys either to prove-it deals or 1 or 2, 3, or max deals, whatever it is, but young guys that they can build on, all right? Not really necessarily going after those older guys unless it's at certain positions. All right, quarterback is one of them. Quarterback, I don't believe, is a position where they're like, okay, the guy has to be 29 and younger. No, that's one of the ones where you need a veteran presence in there. So even if he's Ryan Fitzpatrick again at 38 years old, that's not a problem because they just need a guy that they can win a couple games with if, in fact, Tua gets injured, which you need to prepare for that because he's been injured in the past, and that's just the absolute truth. So with that being said, I got 10 guys. Not all 10 names are sexy, guys. They ain't all sexy. And I know some of y'all might rip me in the comment section. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. But these are my 10. You might have your own 10. List your 10 if you feel comfortable after I read off my 10. But these are my 10 guys that I wouldn't mind being our backup for the next season. All right? Some of these names won't shock you. Some of them will. And I'm going to go ahead and give you their age as well, just so you know, okay, maybe this guy could be a long-term backup or maybe this guy is just a 1 or 2 year type thing. All right, so starting at number 10, A.J. McCarron. All right, A.J. McCarron, age 30. He's one of those guys that came in from Alabama, all right, off the back of some of these wide receivers and didn't really pan out to anything as far as starting-wise. He's been a backup, decent little backup. All right, not somebody that you really want, but if the other 9 don't pan out, then you got A.J. McCarron sitting there. I wouldn't mind kicking the tires on him. All right, number 9, Brian Hoyer, age 35. Brian Hoyer is a guy that I really wouldn't have a problem with if they signed him as our backup quarterback because he somewhat knows the system. He came from New England. He somewhat knows what's going on. He will be able to help out Tua in some of these concepts, maybe as far as West Coast offense, what have you. He'll be able to help Tua. He's a veteran mind. He can win you a game or two if need be. Not more than that, but if need be, a game or two, he can win you. So I wouldn't mind him, being that he knows some of the staff, being that he knows somewhat the system that they might be implementing, minus the RPO stuff. He'll be able to help Tua, and he'll be able to be a formidable backup as well, and not somebody that Tua's going to have to look over his shoulder about. Now, I do, aside from this, we have to draft a quarterback no matter what. We got to draft a quarterback. I've said this before, so this is not replacing that. We have to draft a young quarterback because you got to have a guy that you can groom just in case Tua doesn't pan out. This is a guy that can play right away, all right, because you don't want a second-year guy and then a rookie as your only quarterbacks on the team. That's not going to cut it in the QB room. You got to have a veteran presence there, somebody who's been in the league a little while and can help out. So I would deem that person to back up, and then that you're going to have to save 3 places this year for quarterbacks. You're not going to get away with putting the guy that you picked up in the 2nd and 3rd round at quarterback on the practice squad. That's probably not going to work out. So you got to save 3 places or 3 spaces for quarterbacks this year and let that play out the way it needs to. All right, so with that being said, we'll move on to number 8, which is Tyrod Taylor, all right, at 31 years old. Now, Tyrod Taylor, he's going to get a job no matter what. He's not going to be sitting around. Somebody's going to sign him or bring him into camp to see what he has because he has a little bit of talent. He can run a little bit. He got, unfortunately, hurt last year because he was getting, I don't know, it was an IV or a shot or something, and they punctured his lung, and that's where the Justin Herbert train took off at. All right, so he's a guy definitely wouldn't mind kicking the tires on. I got 7 guys I like ahead of him, but at 31 years old, he could definitely step in, win a couple games. He is a mobile guy. He's in the stature of a guy like Tua, a little more athletic, a little more arm strength, but that's the type of guy I wouldn't mind. Good leader, wouldn't mind him being a backup for Tua. The next one at 7 is Joshua Dobbs. All right, now a lot of you know about him. I was a fan of his coming out in the draft. I wanted him, and I think at the 3rd round, I'm like, yo, we got to get 3rd or 4th round. I'm like, yo, we got to get Joshua Dobbs, man. Let's get him, kick the tires on him. That's back when we had Tannehill. Kick the tires on this dude, let him come in, and let's see what we got. You know, you just never know. 26 years of age, Never really got a chance to do much while he was in Pittsburgh. I think he might have been last year with the Ravens for 1 year. I'm not 100% sure on that. But Joshua Dobbs is definitely a guy I wouldn't mind having as our backup. Number 6, y'all ain't going to like this name, but the man did some decent things when we watched him in Week 17. Matt Barkley, age 30. All right, Matt Barkley, he was throwing the ball around, man. I can't front like the man wasn't. The man, he was throwing the ball around. He was still getting touchdowns against our first team defense. I had to throw him on the list at number 6. Sorry. You know, I'm going to recognize real. And the man got a little bit of potential. He can play a little bit. Only 30 years old as a quarterback. He's a journeyman quarterback. Been around the league. We bring him in. It's not like he's competing with Tua or anything like that for the starting position. We just bringing him in to be the backup, and he can win you a couple games. Decent quarterback. Decent backup quarterback, all right? Number 5, Jameis Winston, age 27. Now, could Jameis have been a little higher on this list? Possibly, because he's got some talent, all right? The first 30 for 30 guy besides the ESPN we've ever seen. 30-plus touchdowns, 30 interceptions, all right? He giveth and he taketh away. So the man, 27 years old, got some talent. We seen what he did with the Saints last year when he had the opportunity. Decent quarterback. They're probably going to end up keeping him. That's why he's so far down the list, because it's just not realistic to see us getting Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback when he could possibly vie for a starting position somewhere. So he's number 5 on the list. Ryan Fitzpatrick comes in at number 4, though. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I feel like if we can't get one of these 3 above him, we should just kick the tires on him again. 38 years old. We know Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't need to go any further. Why I have him at number 4 is because I think we just need a change at backup quarterback. But we don't need to go crazy, all right? We don't need to be getting A.J. McCarron over Ryan Fitzpatrick if Ryan Fitzpatrick wouldn't mind coming back, all right? That type of thing doesn't need to happen. I'd rather stick with him. The W knows better than the W don't. I'd rather stick with him over everybody else I've mentioned. Next up on the list at number 3 is Mitch Trubisky. I've already banged the table for Mitch Trubisky in the live stream. That's a guy I feel like I would want on my squad because he's 26 years old. The man can run. He's got a decent arm. He needs a new change of scenery. Why not come to the Dolphins? Why not play in South Florida? And hopefully we can coach him to be a little bit better than he's been. I think we can, and maybe we have something with him. All right, maybe Tua gets hurt, God forbid. He comes in for 5 games, goes 4-1, and then we could trade him for like a third round pick or something. You know, you just never know. You never know. That's assuming Tua's having a good year up to the point where he gets injured. Because if not, then Mitch Trubisky is all of a sudden our new quarterback, and you know maybe that's not such a good idea. But you just never know what can happen. He could turn out to be really good for us. You just never know. Definitely at number 3, you gotta take that man if he's willing to come. All right, at number 2 might shock you a little bit, especially over Mitch Trubisky. But hey, I got a lot of respect for this guy. Number 2, Alex Smith. Alex Smith, who was just recently told that he's going to be let go by the Washington Redskins, age 36. I just feel like the man is out to prove something. I love his story. I love how he persevered and how he came back. I want him on my team. He is the consummate pro. He is Fitzpatrick at a younger age. He is still mobile, although he had that horrific leg injury. Very accurate quarterback. Great mind. That's the type of quarterback I would like to see behind Tua, helping Tua further his game. Alex Smith. That's the guy I want if I can't get number 1. And number 1 is Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett is the guy I want. Now, could Jacoby Brissett, like Jameis Winston, be vying for a starting position? Yes, he could. But he's better. He's better than Jameis as far as upside is concerned. 28 years old. He's been a backup. He knows what it takes. He's got some talent as well. Like that guy. He's going to be very tough to get. So the list pretty much starts at number 2 down because he's going to be very tough to get. He's going to command some serious money to bring him in as a backup. But I like him. Like the dude. He did great for the Colts. He wasn't the best quarterback. That's why they brought Rivers in the first place. I mean, it's not like he was excellent, but he did some things. All right, some good things as well that so good enough to where I want him at number 1 on my list as the backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. All right, this is my list. These are the guys that I feel comfortable with. You might not, you might. If you do, hit that like button. If you don't, hit that dislike button. It is cool. Put your list in the bottom, your top 10, based off the names I came up with here. And if you like somebody, don't like somebody, let me know. Let's chat about it, all right? Y'all already know what time it is. We out of this bad boy. Please subscribe, hit that bell notification so you get the information hot, all right? Hot. Get that information hot while it's still fresh, all right? Get it. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Fins up till we die. I'll see y'all later this week.